everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is my second video. I wanted to make a video about how I fundraised when I had a place in the London Marathon this year. I did quite a lot for charity and quite a lot to raise money for my charity place because I thought I've never done anything as big as this and I might not ever do anything as big as this ever again. So I might as well go all out and raise as much as I can. And I did. I raised as much as I could. I was asked to raise £2,000 and I raised just over £4,000. And I think I had a bit of a advantage because I found out in the July that I'd got my place, whereas most people don't really find out until October or maybe a bit later. But I really did use that to my advantage and just kind of started fundraising as early as possible. So I'm going to share with you today some of the things that I did to raise money, some of the things that worked really, really well, and hopefully if you have got a charity place, it will give you a bit of inspiration of what you can do. Or even if you're fundraising for anything else, here's some of the things that you can do for that place. So, well, the first thing I want to say actually is obviously the London Marathon ballot results got released this week, and if you have got a place, then congratulations, you're very, very lucky. So if you have got a place and you're not running for charity, then I do recommend using your place and still fundraising for a charity that means a lot to you. You will find that friends and family may still want to show their support to what you're doing with your training and actually running the marathon by fundraising or helping you raise money for a charity that means a lot to you. Obviously, the lucky thing for you is that you don't actually have a big target that you need to hit, so any money that you raise is money that otherwise wouldn't have been raised. So definitely consider raising money for a charity that means a lot to you. The other thing that will mean is that on the day you will have an extra team of supporters that cheer you on around the route, so it's definitely worth doing. Anyway, so without further ado, here are some of the things that I did to raise money for my charity place. So one of the things that worked really, really well, and I think if you work in an office, it's something you definitely have to consider doing, was bake sales. So I worked in a big open plan office at the time and I did quite a few bake sales, but what I tried to do was tie them in with other events that were happening. So if it was Halloween, we did a Halloween bake sale. For Valentine's Day, we did a Valentine's Day bake sale. I think we did one near Christmas as well. And that just meant that people were already feeling a bit festive and excited about that time. So I tried to theme the cakes or ask people to theme their cakes in with whatever the cause was or in with whatever the event was around that time. So for Halloween, we had a lot of people making Halloween themed cakes and that was really cool. I also decorated the cake area so that when people came onto our office floor, it was the first thing they saw with all the balloons, the bunting and all the Halloween decorations. So definitely make it stand out if you are going to do that. What I will say as well is give people as much notice as you can, but not too much notice. So the first bake sale that I did, I think I told people about 3 weeks early and then didn't really mention it again, and a lot of people kind of forgot that they'd agreed to do that. So I would say sort of give them maybe 3 weeks notice, but then the week before email the people that have agreed to bake for you and check that they're still happy to bake, and also maybe the day before just remind everyone that the bake sale is tomorrow, because people will forget. I mean, I probably would have forgotten if it wasn't my bake sale. In fact, I did actually forget one day that it was my bake sale, so I was up until about 11 o'clock at night baking cakes for my own bake sale. I didn't put a price on the cakes, I just said recommended donation was £1 per cake, but people could kind of put in what they wanted to, and some people were putting in £10 notes and then just kind of going up and having several cakes throughout the day. So yeah, I would say don't necessarily price the cakes, but give people like a recommendation of what they can put into the pot. Another thing that worked really, really well was pub quizzes. So we did 2 pub quizzes. I say I should add that a lot of the fundraising things that I did with my friend Phyllis, who was running for charity for the London Marathon as well. And we kind of joined together for a lot of the fundraising events, so that she was bringing people in, I was bringing people in, and there was more people there. Therefore, we raised more money for charity, and then we split whatever we raised between each charity at the end of the night. It just worked really well, and it also meant that we could kind of both be involved in the organising, so there wasn't too much pressure for one person. So if you have got somebody else that you know that's doing a bit of fundraising for an event, then maybe try and work with them if you can. It was quite nice to be able to work with somebody and it'd be a joint effort. So for the pub quizzes, it was quite difficult to try and organise this to begin with. I tried to organise a couple of pub quizzes in London because that's where I worked, but London's really, really difficult, especially central London. Most pubs are busy every day. London city never sleeps, so it's really difficult. If you do live in London, then I'd recommend maybe going a bit further out into kind of like out at Greater London, and you might be able to find a pub there, but central London it just isn't going to happen. So we found a pub locally. I live in Kent, and it was a pub that wasn't in the town. Most pubs in the town or out of the town won't be able to do something like this unless it's a weekday, so try and organise it for maybe like a Wednesday or a Thursday night, which is what we did. And we ended up going to the same pub for, I think we did 3 of them in the end, and that pub was just brilliant. They were so supportive. The locals really got involved as well with everything, and they all took part. The best thing about it was that the pub had a connection with a quizmaster that was happy to give up his time and come and do it for free, which meant we weren't there planning the questions and giving out the answers like as us, because I think that would have been a bit nerve-wracking. So yeah, it was really good having a quizmaster there that could help. So if you have found a pub, maybe speak to them to see if there's somebody they can put you in touch with that does that kind of thing quite a lot. The best thing for the pub quiz, and the thing that did raise the most money, so I think most people paid about £3 to take part, but we raised most of the money from a raffle. So before the event, we just went to a supermarket, we bought wine, we bought boxes of chocolates, we bought a few kind of beauty sets and put some raffle tickets on them, and we raised probably about 3 times the amount just in raffle tickets. So it's well worth doing that when you've got a captive audience. But yeah, we did a couple of pub quizzes. They did go down really well, and it was just really nice because friends and family were able to kind of come and take part and kind of really get involved. So it just made for a really nice event. The biggest event we did, and probably the most stressful event we did, was a music gig. So my friend ran a venue, and she said that she was happy for us to use her venue on a Saturday night. So months in advance we spoke to lots of bands and performers and asked them if they'd take part. I think the lineup changed completely by the time we got to the actual event, because obviously all the performers were happy to give up their time to do it for free, but if something better came up, like they got offered a shift at work or a paid gig, then they're obviously going to go and do that instead. So a lot of people did drop out, and I think the day before we had most of the people dropping out either through sickness or through better offers. So we were considering actually cancelling the event, but the day of the event we were giving out flyers everywhere, and we were approached by about 4 different bands that wanted to play. We ended up having to shorten the sets to squeeze in more performers, which was amazing because we had more than we'd actually planned on having, and it was a really good event. It came together really well. All the performers were amazing and really supportive of what we were doing. But another thing that we did, so we charged a few pound on the door for people to come in. I think we started it about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it ran to about midnight. But people were able to kind of come, go off, have something to eat, and then come back again. Or if they were busy that evening, they could pop in for a bit and then leave. So they didn't feel like they had to stay all night. I think starting it earlier definitely added a bit of pressure because there was more time to fill. But it just meant it was a bit nicer for everybody else, and we got to see more faces throughout the night. The thing that worked the best though was we organised a raffle for that as well, but we reached out to lots of businesses for the raffle, and we were amazed by all the prizes that we were given. So we had restaurant vouchers, we were given Eurostar vouchers. One of my friends worked for Eurostar, and bless her heart, she was able to get us tickets for the Eurostar, which was like the biggest prize of the night. We had theatre tickets, we had God, lots of prizes from businesses that they'd put in. So we had like gift sets, all kinds of things. It was amazing. It was a really, really good raffle. A local baker actually baked a cake for the raffle as well, so that went down really, really well, and we raised more money from that than we did on the door. Overall, we raised about £800 that night, which was split between both charities, so each charity got £400. And I mean, all the work we put into it, it was worth every second, because that was a lot of money to put towards our fundraising. Another thing that we did, a couple of, was a charity boot fair. So we posted to our social media pages in the weeks leading up to the boot fair and asked any friends and family if they would be happy to donate anything that they didn't want. And we were inundated with things that people didn't want, which was really, really good. We had so much stuff that we had to do a couple of them. We reached out as well to the organisers of the boot fair and told them that we were raising money for charity, and they let us have the pitch for free, which was really good. And then we decorated the vehicle with bunting and posters that told everyone that all the money was going to charity. That meant that where people would normally haggle and say, would we take 20p instead of 50p, they were actually saying, we'll give you £1 instead of 50p, which was really, really good. So we were able to raise more money. People were a bit more respectful for what we were doing. Our stall was the most random stall. I had plates from my nan that she'd donated, Blu-rays and DVDs from our friend. We had makeup, we had a bit of everything, baby clothes, everything. But we raised over £200 on the first boot fair, and I think not far off that for the second one. So that went down really, really well. Another thing that I did, it's just another little extra thing, was before I ran the marathon, I emailed everyone at work and asked if they wanted to take part in a sweepstake. Most offices love sweepstakes, so any excuse for a sweepstake. Basically, I put lots of different times into a hat, and whoever pulled out the time that was closest to the time that I ran it in got half of what I made on it. So I think we took about, I think it was like £2 a name or £2 a time, and we raised about £40. So the winner got £20 and the charity got £20. So it's a nice little extra thing. If you work for a company, and maybe they're a big company, some companies do match giving. My company that I work for unfortunately didn't, but I did email all of the directors of the company, and lots of them were able to pay or donate something to the cause out of their own pocket, which was really good. So making sure everybody that you work with knows what you're up to. I think I was probably the most annoying person over email towards the end, because every single payday I emailed round to say, it's payday, if you want to donate, please do. And then people felt like, because they sat opposite me or behind me, like kind of felt like they had to do it, or they'd hear me thanking somebody across the office for a donation that just come through, and then that would then encourage somebody else to donate. So overall, I think pretty much most people in the office actually donated to what I was doing, and it was a pretty big team that I worked for, so that was really nice. But also some of the other businesses in the same organisation in different areas across the floor, who I didn't even speak to, were also donating, so that was really, really good. But the biggest thing to do, and it's probably the hardest thing to do, but I was probably milking it towards the end, is to just talk to everyone over social media. I set up my own Instagram page, I was posting vlogs to Facebook, and every time I kind of got near a rounded number, so if I was £10 off making £800, or if I was sort of £100 away from my target, I would post something onto social media to say, look, I'm this close. And pretty much every time somebody would then donate. I think nearly everyone on my Facebook donated by the end. So that was really good, because I was just posting probably every week. I think probably people defriended me by the end, but it was worth doing, because a lot of donations came in online, and I was overwhelmed by how generous people were. That I hadn't spoken to them in years, and they were donating kind of like £20, and I was like, this is amazing. So definitely post to social media. You'll get a really big response from that. My other half, Joe, actually posted to Twitter, and somebody in America donated that we didn't even know. They'd seen his tweet and then donated to my page, which was really, really good. So just basically make sure that everyone you know knows that you're running a marathon. Don't be ashamed of what you're doing, especially if this is like the first time you've done something like this, and it may be the last time that you do something like this. Just milk it, because you're doing something that's raising money for a really good cause. You should not be ashamed of that. If people don't like it, they've got the option to unfollow you. So don't be ashamed of that. Just go for it and raise as much money as you can. Luckily in the end I raised about £4,000, or just over £4,000, and I think it was those events that really helped. I think when people feel like they're part of it, then it's really good, because then, I don't know, they're getting involved in it. They're doing pub quizzes, they're coming along to some of your events, and they really are kind of proud to be supporting something with you. So after you've run the marathon, it's always worth, or after you've done to part in any charity event, whatever it is that you're doing, it's always worth posting something to let people know they've still got time if they want to donate. But make sure you thank people as well. You don't want to be too kind of forceful with your messaging. You don't want to tell people they have to donate. They don't. At the end of the day, people support their own causes as well. If the people don't donate to you, don't be disheartened by it. It's no reflection on what they think about you or what they think about you're doing. It's just that they might have their own kind of things that they want to do, or they might just not have the money. So don't be too forceful with your messaging, but make sure that you definitely make people aware of how grateful you are for the money that they've given you, or given the cause that you're running for. And so yeah, hopefully that's been helpful. Thank you again for watching my next video. I do hope to make more of these, so please hit like, hit subscribe. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them, so feel free to put them in the comments. And yeah, hopefully I will make another video like this soon, so see you soon.